A little rap that I had for Apostrophes for contraction, but now I have a song for Apostrophes for possession. So I apologise because I know I do not have a good singing voice, but it's quite catchy. It's to a very familiar nursery rhyme song. So let's have a look at Apostrophes for possession. Okay, I'll go this way. If you hear the s sound, find the following word. Does the word belong to this word that you heard? If yes, this is possession, so get your pen ready to add before this S an apostrophe. But if this thing's possession belongs to more than one, the apostrophe goes after the S that you have done. Plural words are different, like children, women, men. Apostrophes go before the S if things belong to them. So that's the poem summing up different ways to use apostrophes for possession. So let's now see that in practice, and let's have a practice together. So let's read sentence number 1. Zephyr's tail wagged. Now in the song it said if you hear a s sound, and I heard a s sound, Zephyr's tail wagged. So if you hear that sound, you'd have to find the word that comes after the word with that sound. So the word after is tail. And does the tail belong to Zephyr? Yes, it does. So we're hearing the s sound because it's introducing something that belongs to that word. So Zephyr's tail. So now we have possession. And there's only one Zephyr. So like the song suggests, you only put an apostrophe before the S. So Zephyr's tail wagged. Let's try sentence number 2. The girls' cloakroom was messy. Here we hear a s sound. It comes on the end of the word girls. The word after is cloakroom, so the cloakroom belongs to the girls, and we hear the s sound because it's introducing something that belongs to the girls. The girls' cloakroom. But here we have a cloakroom that belongs to more than one girl. So if we put the apostrophe before the S, that would be giving us the wrong information as the reader because we would only think there's one girl. But the cloakroom belongs to all of the girls. So that's when you put the apostrophe after the S, so the reader understands the difference. One person, one dog, lots of girls. Now this one says, the children's playground had a zip wire. So we hear a s, and then that's on the word children's, and we hear it because something belongs to them, a playground. But children's is one plural word. It's a word that already means there's more than one child. So you don't need to put an apostrophe after the S to show us because the word does it for us. So therefore you treat it like a singular word and you put the apostrophe before the S. Okay, the children's playground had a zip wire. In this sentence, it says the dogs were chasing each other. So I hear a s sound, but look, afterwards, nothing belongs to them. So this is just an example of a plural word. It's just lots of dogs. And you hear the s sound on words that are plural, but nothing is belonging to them. And this is really important because when you teach children apostrophes, and when I've always taught you apostrophes, you get very apostrophe happy and you start to put apostrophes in whenever you hear S's, the S sound. That's why you need to check the words that come after because this is just the dogs were chasing each other. You hear the S sound because there's just lots of dogs, but nothing belongs to them. It's a plural word, so no apostrophe needed. And then we have an example here of a word that ends in an S. So what do you do with those words? So Father Christmas's beard is very long. So if I had the apostrophe and put it at the end of the S, it would suggest that there's more than one Father Christmas. And we all know there's only one Father Christmas. So technically you are supposed to put an apostrophe and add an S to show that it's singular. That is how you're supposed to deal with objects that belong to something that ends in an S and you hear the S sound. But nowadays you don't see people doing that very often and they just put an apostrophe afterwards. But this is the correct way to do it. There's only one Father Christmas And that S is his name. It's not suggesting anything belongs to him. So you have to put an apostrophe and another S because his beard is belonging to him. I hope that makes sense. If you remember the song and the rules, it's a really good way to help you. And don't go throwing apostrophes in everywhere when you hear the S sound. Remember, check the word after the S sound to make sure that something definitely belongs to the word that has the S sound. And if it does, the apostrophe goes before if there's only one of that thing that it belongs to, or the apostrophe goes after if the object belongs to lots of that thing. I hope I'm making sense.